So, Bungie dropped the trailer for their new Marathon reboot. I played Marathon as a kid, back in the 1990s, and it was a single-player sci-fi shooter. And for the first 30 seconds of the trailer, I was locked in. Marathon looked phenomenal. Vibrant, sleek, dripping with that polished sci-fi aesthetic you expect from a studio with Bungie's legacy. You could pause it on any frame and get your new desktop wallpaper. But then, then the details started trickling out. PvPvE, extraction shooter, battle pass, no single-player campaign, monetization plans, 3 maps on launch, 6 hero/operator type characters to play as. Oh, and it's not even free to play. And I just kind of sat there staring at the screen thinking, wow, we're really doing this again, aren't we, guys? It's not a revival of a beloved franchise from the 90s. It's not a reinvention or a new take on a well-known game mode. To me, it seems to be just another AAA live service product wrapped in a trendy wrapper wearing a hollowed-out skin of a beloved IP. And that was the moment this video basically wrote itself. Because Marathon isn't the root problem or even the problem itself, it's just the latest canary in the coal mine. The real issue, modern gaming's biggest problem, is modern developers. Or, more accurately, the corporate overlords above them. The publishers, execs, marketing directors, and spreadsheet-gazing suits who care more about quarterly projections than player experience. The people building the roadmaps instead of building the games. Who think success means maximizing ROI instead of, making a game that people actually care and remember. So today, I want to dive into all of that. Not just a rant, but don't worry, there's going to be a ton of ranting in this one. But an actual breakdown about why things feel like they've gone so stale, how we got here, and what we've lost along the way. Now, let's start off by stating a fact that seems kind of counterproductive and illegal to say out loud. Games have never looked better. Objectively, games have never looked better, but they've also never felt more bland. We are currently in the most technologically advanced, graphically stunning, financially loaded era in gaming history, but objectively, games have never been more polished. But despite all that power, most of them feel like they're printed from the same content generation machine, and not even a good one. The answer isn't a complicated one, it's actually fairly simple. Games have stopped being games. They have now become products. You know the type. Systems built to grind, worlds that are built to funnel you into a never-ending loop of looting, gameplay designed to drip-feed dopamine at optimal retention levels, seasonal checklists, FOMO events, and cosmetic shops that load faster than the actual game itself. When a game is greenlit, it's not because it's fun or risky or original, but because it fits into a monetization model. And this is what we get. The great homogenization, the great sameness. Every game's the same now. But the prime example, at least now, especially with Marathon, is extraction shooters. Remember when every studio rushed to make a battle royale game? Now it seems like it's the extraction phase. Hunt Showdown did it well. EFT also carved its space. But now we've got Marathon, Exoborn, Shatterline, and Dead Drop, which kind of funny that some of those have gotten canceled. All chasing a trend that feels already tired. The thought process isn't what is going to blow a player away, what is going to make this a memorable experience. It's how do we stretch this trend over 5 monetized seasons and 3 cosmetic bundles? It's product design, it is not game design. And it's absolutely gutting the soul of the industry. Let's go back to Marathon for a second. The original Marathon in 1994 was weird, it was moody, cerebral, and ahead of its time. Bungie made it as this kind of first-person philosophy class wrapped in Doom mechanics. It had puzzles, lore, a genuinely unique identity. It was more than just a first-person shooter, it was an experience. Fast forward to now, and what do we get? A PvPvE loot extraction game. Like I said before, no campaign, you get a battle pass, premium cosmetics, monetization roadmaps. It's all incredibly polished and incredibly empty. And again, the kicker, it's not even free to play. You have to pay for the game, and grind for cosmetics, and buy the battle pass. Bungie's pitch might as well have been, well, we needed a second live service game to support Destiny. Extraction shooters are trending, so we have the rights to an old IP, so we just kind of threw it all together. There just doesn't seem to be any creative heart here. It's just like this big revenue strategy. And look, let me be super clear before people get all keyboard warrior on me. I've not played Marathon yet. It could be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm going on what I see in the trailer and the gameplay footage. I'm not even saying the game looks like it's going to be a bad game. I was just expecting something revolutionary, considering that it's Bungie making it. I was expecting a new take on extraction shooters with some unique ideas, but we just didn't get that. Also, as I'm writing this, they just announced that they won't have proximity chat because it's too toxic. Just give me a break. I'm the official leader of the Bring Back Bullying Club. It's okay to go online or in person somewhere and have your feelings hurt and insulted. It builds character. So to block the ability for random internet strangers to call each other every name in the book just seems weak, because proximity chat, probably 99 times out of 100, is the catalyst for the absolute best moments in games like this, that at least the games that Marathon's trying to be. I'm hoping Marathon is a day one Xbox Game Pass thing, at least on PC, because that's the only way I'm playing this. I can't justify spending however many dollars on a game that's just going to try and monetize me further. And quite frankly, Bungie's not even the worst offender. Like, that honor goes to the usual suspects of Activision, Ubisoft, and EA. Now, this is the part that really kills me. Game development used to be led by weirdos with vision, and I use that term weirdos very endearingly. Designers, artists, coders who made strange magical things because they loved the games. Now, dev decisions are always run through KPI spreadsheets, teams are steered not by creativity but by metrics. What matters isn't whether the game is fun, it's whether users return on day 7 and day 30 and day 40, and how much money can they get every single day. What's our session length? When do players get their first reward? How soon can we show them the store? Games are being built like digital slot machines, and I wish that was an exaggeration. But think about back when Overwatch had like loot boxes and that kind of stuff. Now, this isn't on the devs themselves either. I can guarantee you that almost every single artist and designer wants to make awesome stuff. But when you got the C-suite execs demanding quarterly engagement metrics, you can't make art. You have to make a product. And that's why UIs are beautiful, but gameplay is shallow. Well, I guess a lot of UIs are absolute shit, to be fair. The storefronts are functional, but there's content in the game that's actually missing. Core systems are undercooked, but the cosmetic bundle works on day one, because the business model rewards mediocrity as long as it performs. Now let's talk about what's really at stake with all this. Gaming used to be one of the riskiest, most exciting creative mediums in the world. We got games like Shadow of the Colossus, BioShock, Half-Life 2, Portal, the original Halo games. These games were weird, experimental, not designed to retain users, designed to say and do something different. Now we get these seasonal checklists, the store rotations, and dev team apologizing on Twitter every single time they patch something wrong. Publishers don't ask, is this going to blow people away? They ask, will it monetize by Q2? Games are no longer magical, they just seem to be content. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Some studios are still out here carrying the entire industry on their backs. We got Supergiant giving us games like Hades, we got Arrowhead dropping Helldivers, which Sony definitely tried to blow up that game, which is bananas. We've got Baldur's Gate 3, we've got indie devs that are killing it with Ultra Kill, Dredge, Cult of the Lamb, games that are made with vision and not just profit motive. From Software just continues to deliver bangers. So innovation isn't dead. It's just left the building of most AAA games and moved into smaller studios. And look, like I said, I get it. AAA companies have bills to pay, teams to feed, shareholders to appease, but there has to be a way to do that without turning every single game into some monetized Frankenstein's monster. Maybe I'm just an old man yelling at the cloud. I don't know. Or just maybe, just maybe, I still remember when games were weird, bold, and had a heart. Here's what I'm seeing that's going to come in the next 5 to 10 years if nothing changes. $70 base games, day one cosmetic stores, shallow systems designed as deep progression, seasonal roadmaps longer than the game's campaign, and more reboots and fewer risks. And again, this isn't the fault of all the devs on the ground, it's the system above them. The executors and publishers demanding products that make money instead of experiences that could also make money. Games aren't falling off, the people just running them stopped caring about what made them great. Gaming has never been more popular, more profitable, or more technologically impressive. Yet, at least at this point, to me, it's never felt so soulless. We're watching an entire creative industry be slowly drained by boardroom logic and market-tested sameness. But the spark is still there. In the indies, and the rebels, and the weird people making games not just because they'll perform well, but because they actually believe in what they're doing. So if you're tired of soulless games and shooters, recycled content, and battle passes with no heart, you're not alone. Just start asking for better. It's okay to ask for better from the billion-dollar company, because games can be actually more than products. They can be magic again. And I think that we as an audience deserve that.